Hey guys, welcome to another video from Historic Militaria. Today we're going to be looking at a basically factory new Mauser Conehammer, and these were the initial guns that were made by Mauser up through about serial number 15,000, although toward the end of that 15,000 gun run you started seeing large ring hammers showing up, and of course they're called a Conehammer because the hammer here has got the concentric rings, and when you look at it from the side profile, it sort of cones out like that. So that is indicative of a Conehammer gun. And as I said, they are the first model of Broomhandle made. So they've got a few things that are a little bit unique to them. The first thing is the wide serrated grips. And you'll see this on the Conehammers up through about the serial number 30-ish thousand, which would be large ring hammer guns. They also have the wide milling, as you can see on the lower, and they have a different kind of trigger than later broom handles. This one is actually set into the frame a little bit differently, and it's a little bit wider and a silver colored. They're not going to be strawed. Other than that, they are pretty standard broom handles. You got your typical bolt stop, your tangent sight, your early type safety, which on these down is going to be down is going to be safe. I never get that right. Down is safe and up is going to be fire. And as you can see, when it's in the fire position, the hammer actually rests on the firing pin. And in the safe position, it snaps the hammer back just a little bit there. And as I said, this is essentially a factory new Conehammer, and it was made in about 1897, maybe 1898. It is in the 7500 serial number range. It has got the typical Mauser front sight, which really never changed, and your typical smooth barrel with your crown U proof right there. One thing you'll notice on the early Conehammers is the lack of a serial number anywhere on the gun except on the rear, where you're going to have the serial number repeated on the lower, on the hammer, and also when you cock one of these, and this is not going to be always, but generally, you're going to have the serial number repeated above the firing pin on the bolt as well. Again, not all of them will have that there, but most of them will. Other than that, you've got your standard early proof mark, which is your Ulm proof mark right there, which is an antler, and that stayed in production until about the mid 30,000 serial number range, and then they got rid of that. This particular gun is a little bit interesting because it's got a tangent rear sight only graduated out to 500 meters rather than 1,000, which is typical of Conehammers. So this one was probably a special order, I would imagine, probably for the British market. Not sure, although this does not have any Birmingham proofs. And as you can see, it's got the standard early type long extractor, which they went to a shorter extractor right around serial number 35,000-ish, and your standard Mauser chamber mark, which really never changed. But considering this gun is about 125 years old, it's in pretty nice looking condition, really didn't see any service, still has the vast majority of its rust blue with a little bit of high point wear, but nothing bad. I hope all of us look as good as this in 125 years. Just an interesting gun, typical of what actually like Winston Churchill would have carried, or a lot of the early British soldiers who fought in the Boer War. These were actually pretty commonly seen among officers who did private purchases in the British military, and they were quite popular in the early 1900s, late 1800s. And this would have been a typical mid-production Conehammer that would have seen service with the British Army or potentially lesser degree, actually, to the German military. So, just a very cool gun. Hope you've enjoyed taking a look at it. If you've got a Conehammer, I'm always interested to hear about it. Drop a comment in the section, and always remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.